I'm Michelle Haddix. I'm an AP US History teacher in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Hi, Elliot. Mary, how are you?
21st century skills are the skills every student needs in order to live in a modern society where they can communicate with one another. They're literate in terms of being able to read an argument, identify arguments, identify biases. It's the ability to think critically, think beyond what you're being told, but to also ask questions, and the ability to work in a modern society, collaboration, and make decisions that advance ideas and innovate.
I also love the title of this document. What do you think that has to do with anything?
I think Speak Truth to Power is a creative way to teach 21st century skills in a way that really entices students and gets them excited about the challenges that we face in the world.
Human beings just like them, born the same way, just treated like nothing.
We have a lot of modern issues that are new to society, and we need to find ways to fix them. Speak Truth to Power puts students in the driver's seat for solving some of these modern day issues in a way where they're working with community members, they're working with one another, they're learning about people that are different than them, and they're hearing the stories of people that are making really big changes across the globe. I think Speak Truth to Power allows students the opportunity to first identify that there are human rights violations, but then it's also teaching students to problem solve. You know, how can I solve this problem of clean water in Flint, Michigan? All the while being able to empathize with someone who's in a situation that you've never been in before.
Now, if he's a historian, does that make it a primary?
Educators know their kids, they know their classrooms, they know what their kids need, and I think Speak Truth to Power respects educators as professionals and allows us to use resources, stories of individual people in order to incorporate human rights into whatever curriculum we're teaching. Students really buy into the story of individual people that are changing the world and still out there changing the world today. The Landmark for Peace Memorial is really close to my school. It's about 4 or 5 blocks down the street. The Landmark for Peace is a celebration of Bobby Kennedy and Martin Luther King. The evening that Martin Luther King was shot, Bobby Kennedy was on his way to Indianapolis to deliver a campaign speech in a predominantly black neighborhood. And it was on the bed of a pickup truck that Bobby Kennedy had to tell this crowd of mostly black Indianapolis citizens that Martin Luther King had been shot by a white man and was dead.
What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another, feeling of justice toward those who still suffer within our country.
We want to live in a world that's filled with compassion and care for one another, and I really think that the best way to achieve that goal is through the protection of human rights, which is compassion with one another, respect towards one another, but always justice.
And if we don't consider human rights when we're considering history, then we're not really considering injustices from the past so we can change them.
I also value students sharing knowledge with one another. So it is a 21st century skill to give students a space to not just acknowledge things themselves or learn things themselves, but then also collaborate and build on that newfound knowledge. I enjoy when students challenge me. I enjoy when they give me new ideas and new ways to think about things. The moment that you as an educator allow yourself to slip back from controlling the conversation, controlling the ideas, magic happens. Ideas and perspectives from teenagers create that.
Do you think Feller took human rights into consideration when he wrote this?
When you are a teacher, you are a human rights defender. And every day we're working with children to not only educate them on their own human rights, what rights that they have, how they can protect the rights for themselves, but also how they can defend the rights for every person in the room, every human that they come into contact with, and that's hard work. It means that you need to go above and beyond and actually getting to know your kids so that you can have really important conversations.